Hi, we're having a shoot, the podcast where two guys with ADHD ramble about wrestling, and it's a real good time. My name is Chris, I'm your host, and this is my co-host Joey. Joey, how are you doing?
Howdy, fellas. I'm doing pretty good.
And this is the first attempt at our wrestling podcast that we've been talking about for ages now.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
I'm real freaking excited about it.
Yeah. The funny part about this was that, like, with this whole podcast idea, I was initially a little bit hesitant to get into it because I didn't know how much I could talk about wrestling. And then the following weeks and weeks and weeks after, I realized I have a lot of, like, I was constantly thinking about wrestling, and I was like, fuck, we gotta do this. Like,
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And I was dying to because, I've been a wrestling fan for a long time. Both Joey and I are avid wrestling fans. I've been into it pretty consistently for the past several years. Joey was a big fan back in the day and is just starting to get back into it seriously.
oh, yeah.
So we've been on that grind, and we talk about it so much and get so hyped about it. And I listen to a lot of wrestling podcasts personally that I'm like, man, we need to have a crack at this.
We need
for no
to.
other reason.
We fucking
for no other
need
reason
to.
than just do the stuff with just our ramblings about wrestling.
Yeah.
And what better time than right after WrestleMania weekend?
Yeah.
The wildest time for wrestling fans, man.
It
Absolutely.
was also I know it was also like my first WrestleMania back live when I went after I've gone back into like watching wrestling and stuff like that, and it was very exciting to witness and everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, just I was a bit like worried going into it because I know modern WWE products can't be the best sometimes, but I was for the most part, I was very happy with what they gave out and stuff, and yeah.
Yeah. Now, so I was, obviously WrestleMania is, always an exciting time at the very least, but, I've been a bit, burnt out on the current, WWE programming. I'm not to say there's nothing to enjoy about it, but just personally, it doesn't jive with me very much. So I did not actually watch WrestleMania live. I went back and watched bits and pieces of it after the fact. I was more preoccupied with a lot of the independent scene, because that's always thriving whenever WrestleMania is in town.
Oh yeah.
So I figured we could talk WrestleMania first. Joey, you could I'll let you take most of this just to share your thoughts.
Yeah.
And we can weigh our opinions on the bit that we both saw, and then we could just spitball some indie shit.
Let me just remind myself what the fuck happened during WrestleMania.
Here, I can pull up the card real quick.
I'll also pull it up on my end, but
yeah,
to fill
for
the
sure.
air, I thought that. So this was my first 2-night WrestleMania. Like, okay, it's my first WrestleMania back watching wrestling, and
and
this
it's the second ever 2-night Mania.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, the second one. So the
Well,
first
this was the second 2-night Mania. No, it's the third one. I take it back, right? Because they did 2020, 2021, and yeah, okay. So, yeah, this is the third one. I completely forgot about the first pandemic Mania with, like, the fun house and shit, which was, like, the best one. But,
oh, yeah. But to give my thoughts on, to give my thoughts on the WrestleMania, I thought it was very fun. And probably, like, I thought it was really good. I thought that, like, it had some minor problems here and there, but it was also insane to witness live and everything. I thought that it really also benefited from the, because, like, that was my first time also experiencing a, like, pay-per-view premium live event, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Like,
yeah, pay-per-view.
Like, live, like, between 2 days, and I found that so interesting. And I was like, at first I was like, I don't know how this is gonna work really, and then, like, after like just sitting down and watching it both nights, I was like, fuck, this works, in my opinion at least. Like,
yeah, and, like, I'm the kind of person, I've always liked one-night manias, but recently, some of the more recent one night manias that we got have been really, really long. And if you're not going to cut down on the length of manias, then by all means make them 2 nights. You know, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah,
Just,
exactly.
You know, because at least it's not the pretense of like, oh, you got to sit through and watch the whole thing all at once, you know?
Yeah, because in my mind, while yes, competition is everything with this industry and stuff, I feel like WWE, like at this point, is also kind of like, we want our shows to seem way bigger than our other competitors' shows, and what better way to do that than having like more storylines in it and expanded over 2 nights?
Yeah, and for what it's worth, like nobody can touch them on that front. Like,
Yeah,
Joey, you and I are both massive AEW fans, but
Massive.
you and I can agree that from a production standpoint, WWE is way more consistent than AEW.
Oh
is.
yeah, like I will say, like even from a like also we should probably mention this. Chris and I are also somewhat slash like in the like we're big like film guys too, and so we like appreciate like cinematography and editing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because like the way that AEW shoots its wrestlers in terms like shooting, I mean like filming.
Yeah.
It's always from this a straight on angle when they enter the ring. And in WWE, they have these like cinematography, like lower angles for people like Omos and Roman Reigns and Cody
yeah.
Rhodes, which we'll get into.
Oh
like,
my god,
it,
dude.
It shows how powerful they are as icons and superstars. And it really sells you that, holy shit, Bobby Lashley is fighting a fucking giant. Like,
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I do want to, when we get into this card, obviously we'll talk about Omos in a bit, but yeah, that was a big example I was going to give about how they shoot around. They shoot in a way to kind of add to the character of their cinematography is more creatively inspired than a lot of the booking, to be honest.
yeah,
But,
true.
Speaking of which, let's talk about some of these matches. Any matches in particular? Well, let's just get into the good shit. Which matches stood out to you right off the top, Joey?
Obviously the 2 matches for night 1 that really stood out to me the most. Technically 3, but I kind of zoned out of the third one. So I'll go in order of how excited I was to watch them when they happened. The first one that was like my third most excited match to see was Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch. I thought that was very exciting to see, just because like I know like Becky Lynch can really go, and Bianca Belair has been having this like she's an amazing talent, and like
she's a megastar, honestly.
She's been getting this great push, and her entrance, probably the best entrance in that entire WrestleMania, in my opinion, at least.
It was pretty good. I mean, like Edge's was kind of nuts, but I think that
Edge's was good. I forgot about Edge's,
but like hers was pretty great too. And like Bianca, I love Bianca. I think that like it was weird because at first I wasn't sure if she was like kind of a natural baby face, but like she's just like naturally got that star quality about her. She looks amazing. She's, oh my god, unbelievably fucking strong, dude.
Oh,
holy
yeah.
shit. She's insane. But yeah, I went back and saw that match after the fact because I heard it was pretty good, and it was, honestly. It was perfectly fine. I really liked it.
Shame about that black eye though.
Oh yeah, yeah, but you know they sold it pretty well after the fact, you know, because on the Raw after Mania, she's all like, you know, carrying this black eye with me, you know, it made it look kind of tough, you know, so
it works, and yeah, my second most anticipated match, my second most excited match to see there was this might be surprising, but the Kevin Owens Stone Cold KO show / no holds barred match which everyone probably fucking realized would be a fucking Stone Cold match.
And I hesitate to even call that a match.
Yeah.
I think that it was a super entertaining kind of just fight, honestly. But it was way more than like it. Well, I won't call it a match. It was way more than just a fucking stunner. Like, holy shit, Austin took a concrete floor bump.
I
dude.
couldn't believe that.
And it was hilarious because like he had like 7 beers over the course of that match. People kept throwing him beers.
And then the next night he had to go back to the ring and do it all over again.
Yeah. So, and I know this is kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but I feel the need to mention it right now. Obviously, 76-year-old Vince McMahon completely fucking failed to take a stunner, but I think
dude, that was the funniest fucking butch of a fucking stunner I've ever seen in my entire life.
But I think it was made up for on night 1 when Byron Saxton sold a stunner like he stepped on a fucking landmine, dude. He did like what?
Wait, Byron Saxton?
Yeah.
Wait, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm confusing him for the other person that
not
sold
Austin Theory.
Austin
Stunner.
The way he sold that stunner was fucking nuts.
Yeah, Austin Theory, his stunner cell was great. But yeah, that was a fun angle, and I'm sure it was a dream come true for Kevin Owens, and it was really surreal seeing Steve Austin do that, you know?
Yeah, like, I was like, we'll get to it with my number 1 match of night 1, but I was like, holy shit, Cody Rhodes is debuting again in WWE, and fucking Stone Cold is coming back and fighting a match live. Is this 2021? Like, what timeline is this?
Well, it's 2022 technically.
Fuck,
but,
my bad.
No, it's all good. Speaking of,
my number 1 match of night 1 was Cody Rhodes coming back to WWE and fighting Seth Rollins.
See, so I have this weird relationship with Cody that a lot of fans have where I'll be like, oh, I can't stand Cody, but yeah, this was a really good match. I can't stand Cody, but like, fuck, what a great match. Like,
yeah.
I couldn't, I was getting to the point where I was kind of sick of him in AEW, and then he fucking debuted at WrestleMania, had a great match and won, and then cut the promo of his life on the Raw afterwards, and I'm like, shit, he feels like a big deal, and I'm into it. Like,
my favorite part about, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
My favorite part about all of this is that he is, first of all, the storyline of him coming back to WrestleMania, coming back to WWE, to win the belt for Dusty Rhodes is really fucking good. And B, in my opinion, fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say.
No, go ahead, man. You get 3 seconds of dead air in a Cody segment, and I start doing it. I'll start filling it in with just a Dusty impression. So it's all good.
But in the match, like, it's bizarre to see his like indie gimmick, indie / AEW / New Japan / whatever the fuck you want to call it. Like, dude, his whole image in fucking WWE.
He's going to have a 3-man feud with Miz and Ziggler to see who has the most annoying downstate theme. Like, because all 3 of them have, but I mean, my vote is on Adrenaline in my toe.
Something, Cody Rhodes. I love that Dark Order fucking bit. I could not get it out of my head, but also I kind of love that song in any way. So
no, it's a cool ass song, and like hearing it at Mania was super awesome. I'm glad he didn't come out to his fucking old WWE song, the state of it, the "You're only smoking mirrors," you know that.
Yeah.
I mean. But yeah, no, it was awesome, and you know, it was a match between him and Seth. So how bad could it possibly be?
I also loved. I don't know. I also loved the bit near the end of the match where Cody started doing Dusty's like rolling punches.
Oh yeah, with the bionic elbow, baby. You know.
But yeah. Yeah, I started like I started fucking screaming like, "Oh my god!" Like
goes to Dusty smiling. I'm like, "You can do it, son. Just go out there and hit him with a bicycle." Hit him like, "You got a bicycle."
hit him with a bicycle, and then CM Punk shows up and is like, hit him with a lariat.
Lariat. Oh, dude. Okay, if you don't know what we're referencing, look up the clip. Look up on YouTube this shoot interview with Punk and Samoa Joe where CM Punk does an impression of Homicide, and he's talking about going to Japan to wrestle Kojima, and Kojima does all the lariat, so Punk's just like doing a Homicide voice. He's like, lariat. It's the funniest thing in the world. But anyways, WrestleMania, I will agree with that. I will say this, while I was very, very tempted, just because Cody coming back to WWE was a terribly kept secret.
Oh yeah, it was like Punk coming back for AEW, like.
Yeah, and I was down for that, but there was one big thing that kept me from watching this, just from out of principle. And no, it wasn't Drew McIntyre versus Baron Corbin on a fucking WrestleMania
Happy
card.
Corbin.
Happy Corbin. Oh boy.
Hey, Drew kicked out of the End of Days.
Yeah, I mean that was pretty nuts. I mean, I saw that. Because WWE is built around gifable moments now, I guess.
Yeah.
Top 10 gifable superstar moments or whatever. But yeah, I mean, Corbin's reaction was great. But no, the big thing that kept me from watching this was that the living legend Rey Mysterio was sharing a fucking ring with Logan Paul, and I can't get behind that.
Yeah, he got defeated by Logan Paul.
Yeah, I can't. I don't care if Logan being a real life heel is part of his gimmick to get people to hate him and buy pay-per-views that he's on. He's still a horrible piece of shit, and I don't want to pay to see him. Just straight up, like
that's fair.
I can't. That's just up front. However, I hear tell that Miz hit a skull-crushing finale on him after the fact. So
he did.
Yeah.
And it was funny because Miz, for like that single moment, turned like, quote, babyface with the audience.
Well, he turned face. Think he would have turned face with pretty much everybody.
Yeah. Well, also Logan Paul also did hit a Three Amigos and then a frog splash on Ray.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Which I was,
all right.
I was like, okay.
Dominic's right there, guys. Come on, like you. But anyways, night 2, baby.
Okay, after night 1, I looked at the card for night 2, and I was like, dude, why the fuck would I care about night 2?
Okay, I'll give you. Well, let me tell you who made you care. Fucking Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville.
That was
match of the show, dude. In my opinion. No, I'm not even kidding. That match was fucking amazing. It was so entertaining, dude.
It was very, dude. I will say, Sami Zayn's fucking bump on the table with the fucking mouse traps was fucking nuts.
Yeah, fucking Wee Man going crazy. Dude, Johnny Knoxville hit like the slickest tornado DDT I've ever seen, dude. It was so sick. Oh, dude, that match was awesome. Like, I thought for sure that Edge and AJ were going to steal it. And, like, they had a good match. Like, they definitely had a good match. But, like, it was that match where I'm like, okay, it was good, but, like, there's more the two of you can do. Like, I need to see a trilogy out of you guys. You know?
Oh, yeah. Plus, also, Edge and AJ kind of unfortunate. Like, I don't know if unfortunately is the right word for it, but it had to build to Edge starting a stable, which could be cool, but at the same time, it's like, oh, there's a weird ulterior motive to this. Okay.
Yeah, it's weird, which is why I say I think doing it as a trilogy could help, because this, even though it was at Mania, which seemed like a weird time to do it, they, it was built around that. And this isn't even me being opposed to that, because I think Damian Priest is a fucking great wrestler.
Damian Priest is amazing.
Yeah.
Even though he's from New York, he's amazing.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, you gotta narrow it down to just Long Island.
Long Island. Like, it's yes, Long Island.
Because Damian Priest is from Brooklyn, and like there are so many wrestlers I know you to be a massive fan of that are from New York that shatters the feud, man. Shatters it, but and I know we're skimming over a lot of matches, but that's just because like a lot of matches on this show need to be fucking skimmed over. Like
I know that like I'm sorry, like WWE has continued to like fucking butcher Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah.
And like, okay, to be fair, I feel bad for Rick Boogs because of
yes.
the torn quad.
Yeah, and to begin with, I love Rick Boogs. Honestly, I remember. Do you remember how we fucking popped for him when we were watching the Rumble, dude? He's hilarious. I love Rick Boogs, but like, I mean, like, cause like the women's Fatal 4-Way tag match, I feel like this is what happens with the women's division every fucking Mania now. Since WWE doesn't want to book a tag feud, so they just stick a bunch of tag teams together in a random 4-way tag team match. And no disrespect to any of the women involved, they're all great except Carmella. But I don't like Carmella, but the rest of them are all fantastic. But it's like it's a waste, man, of all of them. You know, it's because the women's tag belts mean nothing at this point. You know.
Yeah.
But on a more positive note, like, so Bobby Lashley versus Omos was a match that I don't think should have really been on a Mania card.
The second that I saw that match like being booked, put aside the fact that that match was booked the week of WrestleMania on Raw, which is fucking ridiculous in my mind.
Yeah.
Like, I looked at that match and I was like, who the fuck wants to see this? Like,
yeah, but I will say this, in terms of what they're using it to get to, I can get behind a Bobby Lashley face run.
Yes, I can agree with that. I
think that, again, as much as it pains me to see him separate from MVP because they were amazing together, I think that Omos needs a guy like MVP to be his mouthpiece. More so than Lashley does at this point. And that, again, also just on that topic, I admire the smoke and mirrors that WWE is employing to make Omos look strong and credible. And Omos is really trying. Like, he's very limited in what he can do, but he's trying, man. And I respect that. You know?
Right.
Like, he's really trying to make it work. And so, like, something about Omos is still clicking for me. I think it might just be because of the way they shoot his entrance. He looks like a beast, man.
He looks fucking like massive in it, and like
he's huge. But
I'm a big dude.
He's a big. He hit big boot clothesline. That's all you're getting, bro. That's all you're getting, man. Maybe a choke slam if I'm going over, but what else happened? Oh, there was fucking Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory.
I really liked the Pat McAfee Austin Theory thing.
Oh yeah, man. Well, I knew that was going to be good because Pat McAfee is incredible.
He can go.
He can go like hell, man. His match with Adam Cole down in NXT was a banger, man. They felt confident enough to put him in a War Games match, dude. Like
War Games.
War Games. He just sounds more and more aggravated every time. Like, I get the genuine, like, in kayfabe, William Regal hated booking War Games matches, which is why he sounds angrier and angrier every time. But yeah, also, like, Vince, oh my god.
Grandfather Vince pulling up to Pat McAfee being like, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Somebody needs to put Vince in a home, bro. Like, for real. He looked... I don't think I've ever been more horrified seeing Vince in a ring than I did at that point. Not because I was concerned for him, but I was just concerned about what was going to happen next. Like, I'm like, oh my god. What the fuck is going on?
I also found it very funny how, like, aside from the whole, like, Stone Cold fucking... Okay, there's multiple things that are very funny about this match. One of them being that when Austin Theory's music hit, Vince jumped like it was Stone Cold's music, and then like was like, "Oh wait, it's just Austin's." And then obviously that really shitty fucking botch of the stunner, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, it was hilarious. And to be honest, Vince has never been able to take a stunner. Like, even back in the Attitude Era, he could never properly take one. And it was always funny back then, so, you know, I really wasn't all that surprised. I think this is just the best fucking Vince stunner I've ever seen. From the standpoint of, like, it's at its logical conclusion, where Vince now is just completely unable to take a stunner.
But I think my favorite fucking image from that entire match was after, like, Pat McAfee on the ground, like, putting a beer up and drinking it, like, while he's like he ate shit on the floor.
Yeah, like a legend.
It's the best.
For sure. And Roman Reigns beat Brock Lesnar. Haven't heard that one before.
That was so disappointing in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, we're doing Brock versus Roman again. Oh, and then you get to, and then it's like, oh wait, maybe they'll do something different. Oh wait, you get to the match and just finish spamming. Finish your spamming.
And like this is like the fucking fourth or fifth time they've done this, and they got it right the first time. At like Mania 31, they got this shit right. Yeah. I don't know how the fuck, and like, it's not to say that they've never had a good match. I mean, well, the example I was going to give was not just the two of them. The other example I was going to give was at SummerSlam 2017, I think it was, where they had Joe and Strowman in there. That match was fucking amazing. Right. But, yeah, no, I don't know what it is with them. Just, I don't know, they got it right the first time. I don't know what to tell you, man. That's just...
I mean, it also doesn't help for me that, like, I think that the Superman punch is one of the stupidest looking, like, moves in any wrestling thing.
Okay, I mean, well, but I think that beyond that, this is like the best version of Roman we've ever seen.
I will agree. I will agree that this is the best version of Roman we have seen so far at WWE. I just don't like the Superman punch, and that's it.
Okay, I disagree. I mean, it's not that great. I'm not gonna die on that hill that the Superman punch is the best move in
the Superman punch saved my life.
He fucking jerks off his arm before he does it. That makes it stronger. But yeah. But you know, at the end of the day, I think that WrestleMania was completely pointless because the Raw after Mania, we got the real defining moment. The big man, Veer Mahan, has finally come. He's been cooming this whole time. And now he's finally came. He must be so relieved.
He's been nutting in a bucket this whole fucking time, and he's finally here.
He came out, dude. He put the boots to Dominic Mysterio, put him in a camel clutch, and he's screaming his fucking head off. Like, I know people are memeing him to shit, but I won't lie, dude. Veer Mahan looks like a badass, man. Like, this dude just looks hard as fuck. I dig it, honestly.
I fuck with this dude. Heavy.
He looks scary, man. He got in shape.
I thought that... I didn't watch the Raw after Mania.
Oh, no, I just saw the highlights afterwards.
Yeah, I did see the highlights of Cody's promo, which was fucking fantastic.
Dude, and also, Cody has stepped up his promo game so much in the past, month or two, because it was dire for a bit. Like, those... I don't feel like we need to talk about those Anthony Ogogo promos, but, like, shit, man, it's bad. It's rough.
Like, after he debuted... No, after he came back, after WrestleMania Night 1, I spent that night, like, rewatching his last promo with AEW, and the line of people constantly talk about the Forbidden Door, but what they forget was, I built it, goes so raw, like...
Yeah, exactly. And, like, at the time, I kind of shrugged off as, like, okay, that's kind of cool, but now I'm like, okay, yeah, he's playing hardball right now, so, you know... But yeah, I mean, Mania, this one was serviceable. I think it was pretty cool. It had its moments for sure.
I mean, there were like negatives that they had with it. Like, the big one to me was New Day versus Sheamus and Ridge going for only literally a minute 40 seconds.
Yeah.
And like,
which I couldn't even stand to look at that because, well, first of all, I admire obviously Kofi and Woods paying tribute to Big E. That's great. And
I love that. I loved every single second of that.
And
The big problem I had with that was that they fucking lost.
Yeah. And also, just on top of that, and this is not me being butthurt, but I cannot stand the fucking audacity of WWE to sit there and pretend that that's not fucking Pete Dunne standing right there.
I hate that.
That is Pete Dunne right fucking there. And
that is the bruiserweight. That is the man that can fuck up my middle finger in a second. That is Pete fucking Dunne.
NXT UK champion for over 500 who gives a shit days. Like, oh my god. But anyways, yeah, that was a big thing for me that I didn't want to watch because that whole angle turned sour for me after Big E got hurt. Because I just kind of wanted them to drop it. Just maybe have like Woods or Kofi beat Ridge like pretty quickly, and that's it. So that way the New Day can keep going, and Ridge doesn't have to catch any more flack because that guy must feel fucking horrible for hurting Big E. Because that shit could have happened to anybody, but to have to be the guy who gets labeled as that, and now he's gonna, hold on to that reputation for a bit. That's going to be rough for him. So I feel bad for him too, man. Because that would suck to be in his position.
It's so the weird thing to me is that modern WWE, I'm thinking about this right now, and it's so weird because you have Cody Rhodes and Mickie James from the Royal Rumble this year, who they respect the fuck out of their gimmicks and them from the other companies.
Mm-hmm.
Like from Cody's fucking gimmick is entirely from his AEW thing, and Mickie James is the same boat to the point where she brought the fucking Impact Championship in.
Yeah,
it's they're respecting these gimmicks, and I respect that a lot. But on the other hand, they're fucking up other gimmicks that worked, like Pete Dunne, and unfortunately recently Elias.
Yeah. Now. What's weird though is I saw you mentioned Elias, and now Elias is a bit of a weird case because his gimmick was the Elias character as we know it is a WWE creation. So they
I meant sticking with gimmicks that worked. Was kind of what I was getting at.
Exactly, and I was gonna say I totally agree with you. I think that's just the mindset that they're in is we can kind of fuck around with this and find out. But I think something about the way Kevin Owens sold it, he acknowledged the bewilderment that the audience had, and because of that, they kind of got behind the segment a little bit, and
that was the equivalent of WWE showing someone something fucking stupid, and Kevin Owens just gonna be like, "Yo, this is dumb."
Yeah, I'm just concerned because Elias's gimmick the Drifter gimmick was fucking money. It was great for years.
It's so over.
And without it, I hate to say it, but Elias is kind of just okay in the ring. He's not super interesting. In terms of his wrestling style, but that's okay because nobody gives a shit because he's amazing on the mic and his gimmick was funny as fuck. But
it was so good to the point where I always granted I didn't watch Royal Rumbles that much until recently, but going back and rewatching some of the 2010s Royal Rumbles, I was like, okay, is Elias gonna be one of the number 1 or 2?
Yeah.
And do his fucking amazing shtick of singing.
I mean,
and
I
the
think
audience
first
screams
one he
and walk with Elias.
I think the first one he was in was 2018. Because prior to that he would have been in NXT. Speaking of, dude, fucking, I want to say 2011 to 2017, those were the dark years of the fucking Royal Rumble. They were bad. I mean, 2016 obviously had its moments, AJ shows up and whatever, but apart from that, man, it's pretty dire. But Yeah, but regardless, Royal Rumble, that's a topic for another time.
That is the topic for another episode, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly. This Mania was okay. It was okay. It was fine. Could have been a lot worse, but it was pretty cool. But that wasn't all that went down this weekend because
oh no,
because
it was
while Joey was sitting there watching his WrestleMania.
While you were out there talking with chicks, I was studying the blade.
I was watching Ring of Honor. I watched.
Let's get into it.
I watched Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, the first Ring of Honor show under the ownership and booking of Tony Khan.
Tony Khan.
Yeah, and it was pretty fucking crazy, man. I mean, it carried over a lot of storylines that were going on in Ring of Honor before it closed, but they had a lot of guys from AEW on the show, and I'll just stick to some of the highlights real quick.
Right.
Then we could talk about them. The big thing that everyone was hyped for going into this was the tag team title match of FTR versus the Briscoe brothers.
Yeah.
I watched that. It was pretty much about as good as can be expected, which is fucking amazing.
Because it's FTR. FTR
yes.
is a great fucking tag team.
And the Briscoes are fucking great, dude. I love the Briscoe brothers so much, dude. Like, Joey, you and I haven't seen a lot of them together, but I need to show you just some Jay Briscoe promos because they're fucking great.
Right.
It was awesome. So speaking of FTR, Tully Blanchard unveiled his new client, who is Brian Cage, the Machine, who made his return to TV after being off of AEW programming for a while. A lot of people thought he was going to leave, maybe go to WWE, but they extended his contract, and now it seems like Tony's using him for Ring of Honor, which is good because we like Brian Cage. Ring of Honor TV title match, Minoru Suzuki stretched the fuck out of Rhett Titus, bro. It was a murder, dude.
Yeah, because didn't he win the title?
Yes, he did, and I like Rhett Titus and everything, but I was fearing for him going into this match.
Yeah, because it's fucking Minoru Suzuki.
Minoru Suzuki was a busy boy, man. I'll get into that later, but he was all over the place for these indies over WrestleMania weekend. We had some more AEW guys hanging around. Wheeler Yuta was there. Swerve Strickland was there. And we had the main event for the world title was Jonathan Gresham defeated Bandito. That was a good match, but the interesting stuff came after when Jay Lethal came out and turned heel. And then fucking Lee Moriarty came out and was all like, "Yo, Jay Lethal, you're being a dick." And Jay Lethal's like, "Shut up, kid. I just beat you like an hour ago," which he did. So like, fair enough. But yeah, then he and Sanjay Dutt, who I don't know if this means him getting physical in the ring means he's gonna make an in-ring comeback because he's been a producer for AEW lately. I hope it does because Sanjay Dutt is my boy. But then fucking Samoa Joe walked out.
Samoa Joe walks out.
Samoa Joe
and I'm
walked
like,
out.
Holy shit.
He comes out, he chokes the shit out of Sanjay Dutt, and Jay Lethal scampers. And
okay, here's the thing. This was the only slight bit of that entire show that I watched as a clip. That and also like, I imagine you'll get into it, but like when the Young Bucks showed up, I saw that clip too.
Yeah, after the Briscoes match, yeah.
Yeah, Chris, correct me if I'm wrong on this or not, but I love that he fucking came out, no music, no anything, just a towel over his head, just walking.
No, he had music.
Like, did he? Okay, never mind then.
Yeah, he had music. He got a new... Dude, his new theme is fucking crazy.
He has a new theme?
Yeah, it sounds like some like Bowser's Castle shit. It's sick.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's awesome. But, yeah, you're right. He came out doing his whole badass thing. Looking pretty healthy.
Does his new Videotron have fucking King Shark on it anywhere?
No, it's just Samoa Joe over a black text with some fire. Like, listen, I don't care how many banger themes Mikey Ruckus can put together in like 45 minutes. They got to step up those fucking entrance graphics, bro. But
the graphics I will, because like the one in terms of like of AEW, the one that I like always was like, this looks not the best was Brian Pillman Jr.'s like his like little factions like card.
That's such a fucking weird pull, but I kind of agree with you. Like, so, but Joey, it's okay because they got Billy Gunn written in a cool font. It's fine. But yeah, no, Ring of Honor Supercard was fucking crazy. I definitely don't know what to expect going forward from this kind of Ring of Honor as like a subdivision of AEW.
Ring of Honor of AEW's NXT, like.
Yeah.
It should be interesting. It should be very interesting because like I don't know the whole story behind it, but like I've heard from like both you and recently also shout out to Mikey O'Shea on TikTok, great fucking guy.
Yeah, damn good, solid big man as well.
Solid big man.
Book this guy. Honestly,
recently posted a video of him using the fucking the fucking sword from the sword that Guts uses from Berserk in the ring, and it's fucking nuts. But anyway, I was told I don't know the whole story, but I know that Ring of Honor has been going through like company problems and like was like shut down for like basically a while.
Yeah, they had to secure new financing and it didn't really work out, so they put it on hiatus back at the end of last year and technically released everybody from their contracts. But their titles remained active, so Jonathan Gresham was still the world champion while he's working.
Yeah, because I think I saw a video, like, didn't he like go to other like indie promotions and like fight for it and shit?
Yeah, he did. He defended it everywhere. And
here's my question about that. Did he drop the title at all?
No, he didn't.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And so like Impact kind of ran with it, where they signed up a bunch of former Ring of Honor talent, which is why you weren't seeing the likes of PCO and Matt Taven and Kenny King on Supercard of Honor, is because Ring of Honor signed them up and started a new heel faction called Honor No More. Jonathan Gresham is actually, I think he's still appearing in Impact. So
wait, so you're telling me that a bunch of technically ex-Ring of Honor guys are at Impact right now, and they have a stable called Honor No More?
Yes,
that's awesome.
it's pretty cool. It's like Maria Kanellis, Mike Bennett, Vincent, Matt Taven, PCO, Kenny King, and I think Eddie Edwards just turned heel to join them. So it's a pretty solid lineup. PCO is my fucking guy. So, but I will say this. I know that Impact has signed him, so it's probably not going to happen anytime soon. But if PCO had just waited a minute longer, that meant we would have seen fucking 53-year-old PCO flipping around in AEW and shit. I would have been there for that. Oh my god. But yeah, Supercard of Honor was good, but we also had GCW, the best indie in the world, going strong. We had Joey Janela's Spring Break 6. I was looking forward to this because they had Joey Janela versus Joey and our boy X-Pac Daddy.
X-Pac
Daddy. That match was sick.
One of the world, the ninth one of the world, China, baby.
How big was her dingus, if you will? We love us a good Dusty voice here, but
a bicycle.
When you was at the P window, Jack.
Should we talk about that clip, by the way?
Okay, yeah. So the thing we keep quoting, if you're familiar with Botchamania, you will have heard this before. It's a reference to this clip of an old Saturday Night's main event. No, not Saturday Night's main event. I don't know. It was like a WCW Saturday Night taping. I think it's Big Bubba Rogers. Yeah, the big boss man. He's fighting some dude. He leaves the ring, goes to ringside, and Dusty Rhodes is on commentary. And Dusty is kind of like speculating. He's like, "Oh, what's Big Bubba got planned here, Daddy? What's he gonna do?" And then Big Bubba reaches over, and a bicycle just spawns in his hands. And as he's taking it to the ring, Dusty is completely blown away, and he gets
loses
real fucking
his
excited.
fucking mind.
A bicycle! He got a bicycle!
He got a bicycle!
This man has bled in fucking steel cages and shit, and this is the most amazing thing he's ever seen in the wrestling business after he's won the NWA championship and shit. Oh my god, this reminds me of the time that I was in the ring with the one-man gang, and I hit him with a bicycle. But yeah, anyways, X-Pac, who is damn near 50 at this point, came back for his second match back in GCW. Joey Janela beat him, unfortunately, but on a positive note, X-Pac got in the ring, grabbed the mic, and he said, even though everything in my body is screaming at me to quit, I'm not going to quit wrestling. I'm going to keep fucking going and have more matches, which is great. Because if you're in the shape he's in when at his age, I'm like, yeah, man, just do it for as long as you feel you can.
I mean, like, Sting is doing, like, amazing fucking, like, high fucking shit.
Sting is
at
64.
63.
Yeah.
3 or 4, whatever.
60,
like,
yeah, something. Either way, yeah. He's still doing the whole no-selling powerbomb spots and shit that he did back when he was, like, the big face of WCW in, like, 1989 or whatever.
And at Revolution, he's fucking doing these massive, like, double table, like, from, like, the 7th row of seats balcony off, like onto Andrade on 2 tables. Like,
yeah, it's sick as hell. But yeah, that GCW did a bunch of different events over that weekend. Another great one. I always look forward to these matches, to these events. Josh Barnett's Bloodsport. If you don't know what Bloodsport is, it's a very shoot style MMA influenced show that GCW puts on fairly regularly. Josh Barnett, if you didn't know, he's a former UFC champion, pro wrestler and everything.
Gotcha.
The matches in Bloodsport have no ring ropes. It's a very weird experience watching it first, but once you watch it, it's like nothing you've ever seen before. It's great. And this one was pretty good. Josh Barnett beat Jonah, the former Bronson Reed from NXT. Chris Dickinson fought Minoru Suzuki in the main event because Suzuki's always at these Bloodsport events. John Moxley.
If you say anything about like hardcore shit, I was like, Suzuki and John are probably gonna show up at some point.
Exactly. I mean, Suzuki shows up at every Bloodsport. Well, number one, because him and Barnett are best friends, but also Suzuki is one of the founders of Pancrase Hybrid Wrestling, which changed MMA. So, man's still going fine today, still hanging with the crew, looking like that one dude from Sin City. But yeah, he's John Moxley fought Biff Busick, or Oney Lorcan from NXT back in the day. John Morrison was there. I was not expecting to see John Morrison at an MMA. Oh my god, dude. Okay, there was this funny ass. Okay, all right. Let me see if I can remember which fucking show this was. Would this have been? Yes. Okay, there was a show. It was the WrestleCon Mark Hitchcock Memorial Super Show. WrestleCon always does super shows right before WrestleMania, and they're always typically pretty cool. This one was dope. It had like Bandito versus Speedball Mike Bailey, my fucking boy. We love us fucking Speedball Mike Bailey. Mike Bailey, he was actually like the MVP of WrestleMania weekend from the Indies, because he hasn't been able to work stateside since like, for like 5 years. So now he's making it the most out of it. But anyways, what's up?
That's good that like he's getting back into the States and stuff, and like
exactly, yeah, because he couldn't for a bit because of visa issues, but that's neither here nor there.
That's what I assumed it was, like visa bullshit.
Exactly. So this had a bunch of goofy matches on it.
Okay.
A lot of cool matches. Like there was like Mia Yim versus Ember Moon. That was cool. Tomohiro Ishii versus Timothy Thatcher. But there are some funny ones that I wanted to mention. Suzuki was also on this card. Fighting
Suzuki versus the Invisible Man.
Not quite. He's fighting Biff Busick. They beat the shit out of each other. One of the funniest matches, there was it was a battle between husband and wife, a dirty dishes match. Taya Valkyrie defeats John Morrison.
Okay, wait. So you know how in Street Fighter 4, whatever, they say now fight your rival. Instead of that, it's now fight your wife.
Fight your wife, John Morrison. Hit her with the moonlight drive. So, and then there was a 10-man tag team match.
Wait,
boy.
what?
A 5-on-5 match.
Okay.
Now, team number 1 consisted of FMW Deathmatch legend Atsushi Onita, Colt Cabana, Juice Robinson, and the Rock and Roll Express, Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson, who are about 60 years old apiece.
Oh my god.
Versus Barry Horowitz.
Wait, that's team 1!
What?
Is that team 1?
Yes, that's team 1. Versus Barry Horowitz, Fandango, Jimmy Wang Yang, Enzo Amore, and PCO, who booked this shit. Fucking Fandango!
How much?
Jimmy
Why is
Wang Yang,
Fandango there?
Fandango, Jimmy Wang Yang, Enzo, PCO, and
Enzo is the one that's fucking tipping me off. I was
Enzo
like,
Amore, PCO, and Barry Horowitz. Who the fuck booked this? This is amazing. Like, I don't give a fuck if the match right afterwards was the Briscoe brothers versus Homicide and Low-Key. That can go fuck itself. I want to see Enzo and PCO fighting the Rock and Roll Express and Atsushi Onita. Like, holy shit. And, like, Enzo Amore has been on my nerves because, so MLW also taped a show. It hasn't aired yet, so I don't want to spoil anything, but the one thing that got spoiled to me was that Enzo Amore beat ACH, which, you know, I guess God is dead. But...
yeah. I guess God is dead.
Sorry, I love ACH. He's one of my favorites, but Enzo, like... I love that this match is just... I love that these shows just have meme matches on them.
Like ridiculous bullshit.
Yeah, like complete goofy shit. And that's another thing. Like, this wasn't a GCW show, but GCW loves doing shit like this. They love it. And that's what makes it so beautiful. Like, random people will just show the fuck up out of nowhere. And just, like, dudes who have been retired for years will just show the hell on up. And... it's incredible, dude. I love it. So that was that, and there was also, I'll just cap this one off because I don't want to go too long because it really isn't an indie thing. But there was also a New Japan Strong event, the Lone Star Shootout. That was pretty good. I mentioned this because I feel like it's a good way to segue into another thing I wanted to talk about, the fact that very, very soon, Joey and I will be going to see New Japan
Windy City Riot, baby!
In Villa Park here in our hometown of Chicago, Illinois. Well, Villa Park is quite a bit of ways outside of Chicago, Illinois, but they still said it's a Chicago...
It's Chicagoland area.
But exactly.
I'll say it's fine. Like...
But it's fine. We're going to see all the stars. We're going to see Jon Moxley.
For the second time.
Minoru Suzuki. Joey, I bet you're very excited and horrified of that.
I was about to say, I'm horrified.
Yeah, we're going to see Will Ospreay. We're going to see Jay White and the Bullet
Jay
Club.
motherfucking White!
Jay White and the Bullet Club. We're going to see Jonah, Tom Lawler, Juice Robinson, Blue Justice, Yuji Nagata's going to be.
Is Tom Lawler related to Jerry Lawler?
No. They're not. Tom Lawler is a former UFC fighter, and their names are spelled differently. Yeah. We're gonna see fucking as if Suzuki being there wasn't enough. Okay, as if we didn't have enough dad. It's like, okay, we have Psycho Murder Dad, but it's okay because we've got good guy cool dad Blue Justice Yuji Nagata's gonna be there. My fucking boy. Dude, I can't wait to see this shit. Joey, how do you feel about going to see a New Japan show?
I'm very excited. Albeit I don't know that much about New Japan. I mean, like the most I know about is like Kazuchika Okada, Kenny Omega's run there, the Golden Lovers. I forget what the other one's name is.
Kota Ibushi.
Kota Ibushi, that's it. I apologize.
Man, did Joey see now? Joey's a casual Golden Lovers fan. He didn't see their start in DDT. He only saw the New Japan run, bro. He only saw the New Japan shit. No, it's okay. No shit.
Yeah, I know them. I know Jushin Thunder Liger, which I know like I think like Jushin's like kind of. He's been like all around, like all over the place, but
he's wrestled in New Japan for his entire career. Like,
okay, yeah.
Even though he's been in other places, like
WCW and
WCW, Mexico, NXT that one time.
Nuts.
It was sick. It was sick as hell. But yeah, Liger retired. It's so crazy to me that Liger only retired 2 years ago. That's wild to me.
Fuck yeah, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, like
I am glad that I know like the Hall of Fame for WWE is like I like it a lot. I know some people are like hit or miss about it, but I am glad that Jushin Thunder Liger got into the Hall of Fame.
As a fan of Liger, like him being one of my favorite professional wrestlers, like, you know, it's nice to see him there. You know, just for the novelty of it, I guess. And but yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be pretty cool. We're obviously gonna be seeing a lot more of American guys who are affiliated with New Japan right now, but I think it's
Johnny Mox, baby.
Johnny Moxville, yeah. But it's
Johnny Moxville,
yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, it's still kind of because I never thought I would get to see Yuji Nagata live, you know, because Yuji Nagata has been a mainstay of New Japan for years. He's been IWGP champion, and even though he's in like his 50s now, he hasn't slowed down. But like, even then, I'm just thinking like, man, this dude is one of my favorites, but I don't know if I'm ever going to get the chance to see him because, you know, he wrestles pretty much exclusively for New Japan. But now they're having a New Japan show in Chicago, so I'm like, holy shit, this doesn't feel like something that should realistically happen to me, you know? It's nuts.
I still remember when I was learning a lot more about like New Japan stuff, that Chris briefly mentioned, oh yeah, there was like some kind of show at the United Center and Minoru Suzuki was there. And so yeah, we were basically within 50 miles of Minoru Suzuki, and I was like, okay, that's kind of sick and also terrifying. And now I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be within like 100 or 200 feet of this man.
Yeah, which is that I'm gonna shit some bricks, dude. Honestly, like he's a scary man.
He's scary.
Yeah.
Like,
but yeah, this show's gonna be baller, man. I can't wait.
Fucking sick as shit.
Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird that Ring of Honor is like the most AEW concurrent thing that's happened this week. I mean, there was a Rampage obviously right before WrestleMania weekend, but you know, that almost feels secondary, you know.
Yeah. Cuz like it was like the Friday before WrestleMania. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like it like I don't know. AEW, like, I love AEW, but I don't know if, like, this week, what should say, like, the WrestleMania week, they really, like, pumped up that much of anything, if that makes sense. Well, yeah,
because realistically, they're not going to be able to, you know.
Because they can't they can't reasonably, they can't reasonably have a show that competes with WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Because that's just not fucking happening.
Yeah.
And B, like, I'm not even sure if they would do, like, a side event.
Yeah. Honestly. And, you know, they had, and I think Super Card of Honor was a perfect supplement to that.
Yeah, I was going to say, like.
It's perfect. Well, I don't know if Super Card of Honor was a perfect show, but it was a good strategy, honestly. Oh, I forgot one thing. That was right beforehand. There was also NXT Stand and Deliver as well. Was a thing.
Right. Was that like a I was confused by that because I know
they've
you had said
retired.
that
They've retired they're
Takeovers.
basically still doing takeovers. Like they're doing big takeover like events, but they're not calling them takeovers. Which is
that's
you
weird.
know, yeah, it's weird, but it's whatever. I mean, I'm not gonna go out of my way to give a shit about a creative decision made towards NXT 2.0. So yeah, but I mean,
the biggest joke I've ever seen of fucking wrestling. Like,
exactly. But I mean, I just after the fact, I heard that some cool shit happened. Like Cameron Grimes, who he won the North American Championship, which I've been waiting on seeing since Cameron debuted back in 2019, back when NXT was NXT. But the one thing that I can, and also Braun Breaker, Rick Steiner's kid. First of all, if you want to talk about dudes I'm happy to see make it into the Hall of Fame just to see them again, the Steiner brothers, dog. Dude.
I was so surprised by that.
Dude, after all the shit that comes out of Scott's mouth, like, you think, dude, you want to know what his chance of getting into the WWE Hall of Fame? You got a 50-50 chance to win it. You take that 75% Senior Joe.
He's fat. Like,
he's fat. I'm pissed now.
I'll make him bleed.
I love Scott Steiner. But yeah, Braun Breaker's an absolute star. But if you had told me back at the height of my... NXT was what really got me into wrestling when I was back in high school. If you had told me back in like 2017 that Dolph Ziggler would one day be the NXT champion, I would probably die of a heart attack then and there on the spot.
I find it so funny that WWE has driven Dolph Ziggler into the ground so fucking bad that they brought him to NXT.
I think what's even sadder is that now the NXT championship kind of feels like a demotion now that it's on Dolph Ziggler. Like,
also a quick side note, I did find it very weird how on the Raw after WrestleMania, they had a NXT championship match.
Yeah.
On Raw, and I was like,
and it kind of undid, and Braun won the title there.
Braun won the title,
which is weird because it's like, why not just have him win it at Stand and Deliver, like,
but on NXT tomorrow,
exactly. And now again, just to backtrack a little bit, I don't want to fair credit to Ziggler. Number one, Ziggler is not a bad wrestler.
He is not a bad wrestler.
No,
he's very. I think he's pretty good at his gimmick.
He's been booked into oblivion. That's it. He's just been booked into oblivion. And, it sucks because as much as of a meme I feel like it is seeing him with the NXT title, this is, the most motivated I've seen him in years. He looks like he's driven and actually, really invested in what WWE is giving him, which is, I mean, at least they've given him something.
Right.
So, fair fucks to him, I guess, But, NXT, what have you become?
Why are you a children's playground?
NXT TakeOver stand and... I don't want to say deliver. More
stand and piss.
Stand and miscommunicate. But yeah. Again, though, I gotta say, man, Braun Breaker, the little Rick Steiner, I wish I had seen this. I wish this dude had shown up back in original NXT because he would have fit right in, man. He's good, and it makes me happy because he cuts promos just like Scott,
Yo, that's sick.
Just like his Uncle Scott, which is fucking great. It was kind of crazy. I don't want to give too much praise to NXT 2.0, but I feel like this is more giving praise to Braun than anything. I saw a clip of him on NXT 2.0. It was him and Tommaso Ciampa got jumped by, I don't even remember who. I think it might have been I'm not even going to try to remember. But he he hits the ring, and Braun grabs a mic, and he goes, "Why don't you two bitches go a set of balls and face me and Tommaso Ciampa in a tag team match tonight?" And it's like, it's the same cadence, the same everything. And he sounds like a badass, just like Scott did, you know, like, you want a friend? Go get a dog. I don't give a shit, you know. Dude, I love Scott. We love Scott Steiner here, bro. Like,
Scott's great.
Hulk Hogan, worry about his spot. We can have his spot, his bald spot.
Triple H, I want to see you lift as much fucking dumbbells as I can on this massive ass stage in 2008. Come in, and then we're gonna talk about it for fucking 15 minutes and not lift anything.
Dude, I loved not the match, because the match ended up being bad because Scott Steiner was so injured and Triple H didn't do much to carry him, but I loved the Triple H and Scott Steiner feud leading up to that, because it's literally just, dude, I'm so much more yoked than you. Like, let's stand here and fucking flex until one of us can't flex anymore. And inevitably Steiner would win because he's the face, but I wanted it to believe that Triple H just couldn't conceivably win because Scott Steiner is
fucking
unstoppable.
roided out,
as he would say, he's a genetic freak and he's not normal.
I'm not normal.
And I'm not normal. He will not stop. If you leave him to it, Scott Steiner will not stop. Oh my god. Man. We gotta, you know what, Joey,
what?
remind me of this. I need to find just a collection of
Scott Steiner promos.
Like not from latter day WCW necessarily, because he had some great stuff then, but like predominantly from TNA, because TNA in WCW, nobody was like, people were too afraid to say anything to Scott to like tell him to stop. In TNA, they just didn't give him anything. They're just like, yo, just say whatever the fuck you want. You're fighting Bobby Lashley or whatever. And he's all like, my offense is undeniable. My defense is indefensible. And I'm like, that's a... What?
What?
Scott, what the fuck?
Did I just have a stroke? What the fuck was that?
And my love is insatiable. And I'm like, oh, there he is. Okay.
What is with fucking TNA and having like shitpost fucking promos that are amazing?
Oh yeah, well, let me get. You're referring.
The
to
only two I've
Jay
really
Lethal.
seen were fucking Jay Lethal and Ric Flair, and the fucking numbers don't lie one.
I'm trying to think about some other priceless one. Okay, there's one. This isn't even a promo, but there's one where Bruce Pritchard says. Well, he's meant to be saying solid steel cage, but his like, I guess he slips into brother love or something because
okay.
it sounds like he says salad steel cage. Salad steel cage. Jeff cut some pretty. Jeff Hardy cut some of his better promos in TNA, but he also cut some of his worst ones.
Well, yeah, because that was also when he was going through that like drug thing.
Yeah, well, most visibly, yeah. Oh, dude, because that was.
I mean, because the one thing that I really remember, I didn't watch. I'll stress that I haven't watched like any TNA, but I do know of the pay-per-view.
Did you watch Victory Road with Sting?
Yeah, with Sting, where like he showed up clearly like inebriated, and Eric Bischoff, I believe, had to come out. He had to come out and like whisper to them like, "Hey, this is not gonna fucking work. Go to the finish."
And then Sting just Scorpion Death Drop and then like pins him like.
And then fucking Sting like on the way out, people were chanting bullshit, and he turns around and just audibly into the mic, so I can hear it say, "I agree, I agree." Like
yeah, which
it's not a pretty sight for anyone.
No,
like,
it's not. You feel bad for Sting. You feel mad at TNA for the most part for just letting this happen.
Feel bad for Eric Bischoff to like have to go out there and say something. And
yeah, yeah. And I know a lot of people will say like, oh, well, Eric Bischoff was one of the bosses at TNA. It was his fault. And I'm like, well, I don't want to pin a blame on a specific dude, but like, yeah, in general, TNA should not have let Jeff Hardy perform in that condition. But ultimately, you feel bad for Jeff because that's one of the most humiliating experiences of his entire career.
Yeah.
You know, or of anyone's career.
Of anyone, yeah, exactly. Like,
yeah. But we got to watch some, like, that was well past the prime days of TNA because the TNA in its prime was, I want to say, from, like, beginning of 2005 up until the end of 2009. That was, like, the golden years of TNA because that was when they first signed, they had all their homegrown talent, you know, they had, like, AJ, Joe, Abyss, Christopher Daniels, you know, but they started signing names from WWE, but like not just like get whoever we can, like big names like Kurt Angle and Christian and
RVD.
RVD wasn't brought in until Hogan took over, and that was when it started to get bad. Not RVD's fault, but, you know, just...
It happens.
Like, yeah, exactly. But, like, the Dudley Boys showed up.
Dudley Boys,
Sting, Scott Steiner, Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash. This is my attorney, Kevin Nash. He's a very good attorney. Big Sexy.
And it is a man... who is not Kevin Nash.
It's not Kevin Nash, but he looks damn similar to Kevin Nash.
He looks like
Kevin Nash in makeup. Like
he's a shorter Kevin Nash because obviously this Kevin Nash is a very identifiable dude for being, you know, ginormous. You know,
Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash. I love Kevin Nash, dude.
Big Sexy.
Love him. Dude, all right. Well, I think
it's about time that we wrapped up this episode.
I think it's about time. Tune in next time for the Kevin Nash retrospective, where we will not the episode where I eventually go on a massive loving rant about how much AEW got me back into wrestling. Yeah, next time I figured, all jokes aside, I feel that next time would be a perfect time, since kind of what we had envisioned for this show is just us kind of rambling about just kind of how we feel about current wrestling, kind of bit by bit, and maybe next episode we could just talk as a whole about AEW, because that's what we've been the most into lately, and
I have some fantastic words for AEW, and I cannot wait. But
yes, so next episode will just be us talking about AEW, presumably goofing off about some other shit too.
Oh yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to our first episode of We're Having a Shoot. I'm very happy that we're doing this because it's been something that I've been thinking about. We've been thinking about for a while. Not sure if this is going on a channel or anything, but I'm just going to say like, comment, and subscribe just in case.
In any event, smash that like button if your favorite Scott Steiner quote is, "He fat!" Subscribe if your favorite Scott Steiner quote is, "I'm pissed now!" And uninstall the internet if your favorite Scott Steiner quote is, "The big bad booty daddy." Yeah.
Smash that like button if you think the lyric is "Adrenaline in my soul, something something Cody Rhodes."
Oh my god. But yes, anyways, thank you so much for listening to We're Having a Shoot. I have been the genetic freak, Chris O'Neill, and this has been the big bad booty daddy, Joey Rigney. And hopefully we'll see you guys next time. See ya.
Take care.